July 10th, 2001, Yellowstone National Park, Wyoming. A 13-year-old boy has been missing for 18 hours. He's wearing shorts, sandals, and a t-shirt. Nothing else. The temperature last night dropped to 38 degrees Fahrenheit. Rain, sleet, zero visibility. Search teams say they have maybe 12 hours before hypothermia becomes irreversible. The boy's mother is on her knees. Then, at 8:17 a.m., a Bell 407 helicopter cuts through the morning fog. The pilot isn't from search and rescue. He's a 59-year-old man wearing a cowboy hat and a faded t-shirt. He lives part-time on an 800-acre ranch nearby. He heard the call at 5 a.m. He didn't hesitate. What this pilot does in the next 47 minutes will save a life. What he does for the next 20 years will make him stop saving lives altogether. Here is the story. Cody Clausen is 13 years old. He's a Boy Scout from Ogden, Utah. He knows how to tie knots, start fires, read compasses. He's earned 14 merit badges. On July 9th, 2001, he's on a camping trip near Yellowstone with his troop. They're hiking a trail 5 miles from camp. The trail is marked. Simple. Cody falls behind to take a photo of a marmot, just for a second. When he looks up, the group is gone. He calls out. Nothing. He walks faster. The trail splits. He picks left. It's wrong. By 6 p.m., he realizes he's lost. By 7 p.m., the sky turns black. Rain starts. Cold rain, the kind that soaks through cotton in seconds. Cody is wearing a t-shirt. Shorts, sandals, no jacket, no tent, no matches. He looks for shelter. Finds a small cave carved into a hillside. It's damp, smells like dirt and decay. He crawls inside, curls into a ball. His teeth chatter. The temperature drops. 45 degrees, 42 degrees, 38 degrees. He tries to sleep, can't. Every sound, wind, rain, cracking branches makes him think something is out there. A bear, a wolf, something worse. 18 hours pass like this. Jackson, Wyoming, 5:03 a.m. A phone rings in a ranch house at the base of the Teton Range. Harrison Ford picks up. He doesn't say hello, just listens. On the other end, Sheriff Bob Zimmer's voice is tight. "We've got a missing Boy Scout, 13 years old. Been out there since yesterday evening. We need air support." Ford is already standing. Where? Near Yellowstone, 5 miles east of the main camp. Rough terrain, forested. We've got ground crews out there, but... Ford interrupts. "I'll be there in 20 minutes. He hangs up. Doesn't wake his wife, doesn't change clothes. Just pulls on boots, grabs his cowboy hat, and walks to the hangar behind his house. Inside sits his Bell 407 helicopter. He's owned it for 3 years, spent over 8,000 hours learning to fly it. He doesn't fly for fun. He flies because Wyoming is remote, because people get lost, because when someone needs help, you don't wait for bureaucracy. He fires up the rotors. The sound splits the morning silence. 5:21 a.m. He lifts off. The Teton Mountains fade behind him as he heads east, toward Yellowstone, toward a boy whose name he doesn't know yet. Cody wakes to sound, not rain, not wind. Engines, helicopter engines. He crawls out of the cave. His legs are stiff, numb. He looks up. Through the trees, he sees them. Helicopters, 3 of them, crisscrossing the sky. They're searching for him. He waves, screams, but they're too far, too high. They don't see him. They keep flying. His chest tightens. This might be his only chance. Then he remembers. Boy Scout training, signaling 101. Use reflection to attract attention. He looks down at his waist, his belt, brass buckle. He tears it off, holds it up, angles it toward the sun, breaking through the clouds. A beam of light shoots into the sky. Once, twice, 3 times. He keeps flashing. His arms ache, but he doesn't stop. One of the helicopters changes course. Ford sees it. A flash of light. Brief, deliberate, not random. He banks left. Descends. His co-pilot, a volunteer named Jake from the local search team, leans forward. "You see that?" Ford doesn't answer. His eyes are locked on the clearing below. There, a kid, thin, soaked, shivering, holding a belt buckle like a mirror. Ford circles once, scans the terrain. The clearing is small, maybe 40 feet across, surrounded by pines. The ground is uneven, risky, but doable. He glances at Jake. "We're landing." Jake nods, doesn't argue. Ford has done this before. The helicopter descends. The rotors kick up dirt and dead leaves. Trees bend. Ford keeps his hands steady on the controls. Altitude drops, 100 feet, 50 feet, 20 feet. The skids touch ground. Soft, controlled. The engine idles. Silence. Jake jumps out, runs toward Cody. The boy is frozen, staring. Jake reaches him, puts a hand on his shoulder. "Cody Clausen?" Cody nods, can't speak. Jake grins. "You're safe now, but you'll never guess who's flying that helicopter." Cody doesn't care. He just wants to leave. Jake helps Cody into the helicopter, straps him in. The boy's hands are shaking, his lips are blue. Jake wraps a blanket around him, then the pilot turns around. "Good morning." 2 words, that's all. But Cody's head snaps up. That voice. He knows that voice, the way it sounds, calm, deep, steady, like he's said it 1,000 times before, like Han Solo leaning back in the pilot seat of the Millennium Falcon. Cody's eyes go wide. The man in the cowboy hat. The man with the weathered face and the faded t-shirt. It's him, Harrison Ford. Cody's mouth opens. No words come out. Ford doesn't wait for a reaction. He turns back to the controls, flips switches. The rotors spin faster. "Hold tight." The helicopter lifts. Trees shrink below. Mountains stretch out in every direction. Cody is still staring, still processing. Han Solo just saved him. Indiana Jones just pulled him out of the wilderness. Ford doesn't look back, doesn't ask if the boy is okay. Doesn't say anything. He just flies. 12 minutes later, they land at a makeshift search and rescue headquarters set up near the camp. Cody's mother is there. She sees the helicopter, sees her son. She runs. Ford shuts down the engine, steps out. The mother is crying, hugging Cody, thanking God, thanking everyone. Ford stands off to the side, quiet. Jake is the one talking, explaining, pointing at Ford. He's the one who spotted him. The mother turns, looks at Ford. Her face changes. Recognition. "You're—" Ford holds up a hand. "He's safe. That's what matters." He tips his hat, turns to leave. The mother grabs his arm. "Thank you. Thank you so much." Ford nods, doesn't smile, doesn't linger. Just doing what anyone would do. But that's not true. Most people wouldn't. Most people with $20 million in the bank and a mansion in Hollywood wouldn't even be in Wyoming, wouldn't own a helicopter, wouldn't wake up at 5 a.m. to search for a stranger. Ford walks back to his helicopter, climbs in. The rotors spin. He lifts off, gone. Cody watches him disappear into the sky. Back at the ranch, Ford parks the helicopter, goes inside. His wife asks how it went. "Fine," he says, "that's all." He doesn't elaborate, doesn't call a press conference, doesn't post about it. For Ford, it wasn't entertainment, it was someone's life. But word spreads, small towns talk. By afternoon, the local news has the story. Harrison Ford rescues lost Boy Scout. By evening, it's national, CNN, ABC. NBC. The phone at the ranch starts ringing. Reporters want interviews. Producers want movie rights. Everyone wants a piece of the story. Ford ignores all of it. 3 days later, Good Morning America sends a crew to Wyoming. They interview Cody. The boy is shy, nervous. They ask him what it was like. "It was surreal," he says. "I mean, Han Solo saved me. How cool is that?" The host leans in. "Did he say anything memorable?" Cody thinks. "When we landed, he said, 'Boy, you sure must have earned a merit badge for this one.' I told him I'd already earned that badge last summer. He laughed." The segment ends. The host smiles at the camera. Harrison Ford, everyone. A real-life hero. Ford watches it later. Alone. He shakes his head, mutters something under his breath, turns off the TV. This isn't the first time. 1 year earlier, July 31st, 2000, Ford saved another hiker, Sarah George, 20 years old. She was climbing Table Mountain in Wyoming with friends. Heat, altitude, dehydration. She collapsed 2 miles from the summit. Couldn't move. Her friends called for help. Ford was the one who responded. He flew her down in his helicopter. She was so sick she vomited into his cowboy hat, didn't even realize who he was until the next day. When reporters found out, they went crazy. Indiana Jones to the rescue. Harrison Ford saves hiker. George gave interviews. "I can't believe I barfed in Harrison Ford's helicopter," she said on camera. Everyone laughed. It became a punchline, a meme. Ford hated it. Now it's happening again, with Cody, and Ford is done. Offers start coming in. A studio wants to make a movie. The Harrison Ford story, Hero Pilot. They offer $5 million for the rights. Ford says no. Another studio offers $10 million if he'll star as himself. Ford says no again. A publisher wants a book. Harrison Ford, the rescuer. Ford doesn't respond. His publicist calls. "Harrison, this is good PR. People love this stuff." Ford's voice is flat. "I don't care. But I said no." He hangs up. Because for Ford, the moment someone turned it into content, it stopped being about saving lives. It became about selling tickets, and he wanted no part of that. Years pass. Cody grows up, gets married, has a son, names him Harrison, not after Harrison Ford, the actor. Harrison Ford, the man who flew into the wilderness and brought him home. When people ask why, Cody tells them the story. He didn't have to do it, he says, but he did. And he didn't want anything for it. That's the kind of person I want my son to be. Ford crashes a small plane on a golf course in Los Angeles. His pelvis shatters, ribs broken. The media goes wild. Cody sees the news, calls the hospital, leaves a message. "Tell him Cody Clausen is praying for him. Tell him I'll never forget what he did." The message never reaches Ford, but Cody doesn't care. He just needed to say it. 22 years after the rescue, Ford is being interviewed by The Hollywood Reporter to promote his new show, Shrinking. The journalist asks about his helicopter rescues. Ford's face tightens. "I stopped doing it," he says. The journalist looks confused. "Why?" Ford leans back. "Because we'd be lucky enough to find somebody, and then they'd be on Good Morning America talking about a hero pilot. It's nothing fucking like that. It's a team effort. It's lame to think about it that way." The journalist pauses. "So you stopped saving people because of the media attention?" Ford shakes his head. "I stopped participating in organized rescues. If I see someone who needs help, I'll still help. But I'm not going to be part of a system that turns it into a headline." It wasn't entertainment. It was someone's life. That's what Ford understood. That's what Hollywood never got. They wanted to turn his rescues into mythology, into brand, into box office gold. But Ford knew the truth. Real heroism doesn't need cameras. It doesn't need applause. It needs action. Quiet, unglamorous, necessary. Cody Clausen is 36 years old now, lives in Utah. His son is 9. Last summer they went camping. The boy asked his dad to teach him how to signal for help. Cody pulled out his belt, showed him the brass buckle. "Angle it toward the sun," he said, "like this." The boy practiced, over and over. "Why is this so important?" he asked. Cody smiled. "Because one day someone might need you to see them. And when they do, you better be ready." That night, around the campfire, the boy asked about his name. "Why am I named Harrison?" Cody looked into the flames. "Because 23 years ago, a man I'd never met flew into a storm to find me. He didn't do it for money or fame or credit. He did it because it was the right thing to do, and when the world tried to make him a hero, he walked away. That's who you're named after. Have you ever had someone help you and refuse to be thanked for it?" Someone who did something that changed your life but wouldn't let you repay them, that's Harrison Ford. And that's the problem with modern celebrity culture. We want our heroes packaged, marketable, profitable. We want them to smile for the cameras and tell us how brave they are. Ford never did that. He saved lives. Then he went home. No press tour, no book deal, no Netflix documentary. And when the media wouldn't stop talking about it, he stopped doing it. Not because he didn't care, but because he cared too much, because turning someone's rescue into entertainment felt wrong. It wasn't a movie, it wasn't content. It was a 13-year-old boy who thought he was going to die in a cave. It was a 20-year-old woman who couldn't breathe on a mountain. It was human beings in crisis. And Ford believed they deserved privacy, dignity, not a segment on Good Morning America. Today, there's a small plaque at the Jackson Hole Airport. It lists the names of volunteer rescue pilots who've saved lives in Wyoming. Harrison Ford's name is on it. He's never seen it, probably never will. Because for Ford, the rescue was never about him. It was about Cody making it home. About Sarah getting to the hospital. About people who needed help getting it. Cody still has the belt he used to signal that helicopter. Keeps it in a box in his closet. His wife asked him once why he doesn't throw it out. It's old, worn. The buckle is tarnished. Cody looked at her. Because that belt saved my life, and the man who saw it didn't ask for anything in return. That's worth keeping. This is the story Hollywood doesn't want to tell. Not because it's not dramatic. It is. But because the hero refuses to participate. Ford won't sell the rights, won't do the interviews, won't let them turn his rescues into profit. And that drives the industry insane, because they've built an empire on selling stories. But Ford's story isn't for sale. It belongs to a boy who spent 18 hours in a cave, to a woman who vomited in a cowboy hat, to families who got their loved ones back. And when the world finally found out, 20 years later, that Harrison Ford had been saving lives in silence, he didn't celebrate. He stopped. Because the moment people started calling him a hero, it stopped being about helping. It started being about him. And he wanted no part of that. Cody's son is 9 years old. He's starting Boy Scouts next month. His father is teaching him everything. How to start a fire, how to read a compass, how to signal for help. But more than that, he's teaching him something else. That the best kind of hero is the one who walks away from applause, the one who does the right thing when no cameras are watching, the one who saves a life and then goes home to make breakfast. That's Harrison Ford, not Han Solo, not Indiana Jones, just a man with a helicopter who refused to let a boy die in the cold. And unfortunately, they don't make men like Harrison Ford anymore.